You're probably aware the digital phone switchover is set to conclude by December 2025. But what's the impact on the safety of your telecare services right now? The 2025 deadline is somewhat misleading. In reality, many areas are already on the digital network. For the telecare industry, this creates a unique challenge, as analog devices struggle to traverse the digital networks. As a result, there's been a significant rise in first-time call failures when a telecare alarm call takes multiple attempts to connect or fails completely. First-time call failures across the UK currently stand between 11 to 30%. That's hundreds of thousands of emergency alarm calls with delayed responses, putting people at risk. Some digital monitoring platforms can see this failure rate by knowing a call has been raised but failed, whereas some analog platforms are not aware of a failed call. These failures usually occur in two ways and are caused by analog and digital compatibility issues. Analog alarms send audible tones through the phone line much like a fax machine. If you were to pick up the phone to a device, you'd be able to hear these tones, which are distinct in their pitch and timing. The equipment at the monitoring centre deciphers these tones to get information about the call and the device. Analog telecare alarms send these tones in a format designed for the analog telephone network, but they are now increasingly likely to meet the digital network, where there are two main reasons why this results in call failures. The first problem happens because the timings between the tones gets altered in the conversion to digital. If the gaps between tones is not the same as when they were sent, the monitoring centre can't understand the message. This is called round-trip delay. The second problem happens when the tones themselves are distorted as they convert to digital. Again, the monitoring centre cannot recognise the alarm call and will reject this. This is called data malformation. In both cases, the telecare device will repeatedly attempt to resend the alarm call, leading to lengthy connection times. This is known as first-time call failure. If the call continues to be rejected, this will lead to a total call failure. But these issues are not always obvious. To the person making the telecare alarm call, it simply seems to take a very long time to speak to an operator. And the operators don't see failed call attempts, as these can only be identified by later analysis. This means you may not be aware of the scale of the problem, and unfortunately, it's only going to get worse, particularly as ISDN is withdrawn and replaced with purely digital services, which you can find more about in our next video. So, what can you do about it? The first step is to understand your current position. Ask your monitoring centre to provide you with a report on your first-time call failure rates.